Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to another episode of Visiting Professionals. I'm your host, Austin Slabaugh, and today I'm at the Audio Cafe recording studio with voiceover extraordinaire, Anthony Gettig.
Hey, how you doing, Austin?
How's it going, man?
Good.
Stay tuned, guys.
A lot of great stuff coming up.
Hi, my name is Austin Slabaugh. I'm a student at Open University. Most of my time is spent on campus in class. But when I'm not hitting the books, I'm visiting professionals. Today on Visiting Professionals, I made my way down to the Audio Cafe recording studio located in Southeast Michigan to meet with professional voiceover artist Anthony Gettig. Anthony was kind enough to invite me down to his workplace to see what he does day in and day out at the recording studio.
Hey, how's it going, Anthony?
Real good. Welcome.
What do we got going on today?
Well, we have some employee training narration to take care of today.
You want to show me how it's done?
Let's do it. All right. Okay, so here we are in the vocal booth. We've got Tom out there engineering. We have our script on the tablet here, and we're ready to get rolling.
Sweet.
Here we go. This is slide 1. Welcome to our training on Just Culture. Slide 2. Our executive and leadership teams are committed to supporting the philosophy, policies, and structure which creates the foundation for a just culture. We seek to be a high reliability organization, or HRO, which is one that achieves extremely high levels of safety over a long period of time. All right, want to give it a try?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Cool, here you go.
Alrighty. You ready for me back there, Tom?
Good to go.
Now,
Okay.
remember who you're talking to. Okay, you're talking to some poor employee that has to sit through this training. He has to sit through this. And so our job as a voice talent is to make it easier for them, because this is very important information about their corporate culture, and we see that there's patient safety is at the core of a just culture, and we really want them to grab this information and learn it. Remember to smile, and you're talking to a human being.
Okay.
Go ahead, give it a try.
Welcome to our training on Just Culture. Our executive and leadership teams are committed to supporting the philosophy, policies, and structure which creates the foundation for a just culture. We seek to be a high reliability organization, or HRO, which is one that achieves extremely high levels of safety over a long period of time.
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad?
Not bad at all. I think it's time we go do some editing. Let's head to the control room and see what Tom's got for us.
Hey, let's go.
All right. Austin, meet my good friend Tom.
Let's go, Tom.
Tom's also the owner of the studio, and once we got everything recorded, he'll take it from here and do the editing and get it out the door.
Yeah, show me where we're going with this, Tom.
I've captured the audio, and I think the first thing I want to do is just roll off a little bit of low end. So I'm going to add some EQ, or an EQ plugin, and roll it off high pass filter, maybe around 100 hertz. Let's just give this a quick listen and figure out where we need to be.
Welcome to our training on Just Culture. Slide 2. Our executive and leadership teams are committed.
That's good. We'll leave some of the low end because it's a nice rich voice. I don't want to ruin it. And then let's add a de-esser too. So just to tame some of the S's and sibilants and that type of thing. And see what that does.
Committed to supporting the philosophy, policies, and structure,
You can see the amount of reduction that's taking place by this meter right here.
which creates the foundation for a just culture.
And I don't want to hit it too hard because we want some of that sibilance to come through, you know. And then finally do a compressor. So we'll add that plug in. I'm looking for somewhere between, 3 to even 6 dB on really high peaks, but not too bad because you don't want to hear the effect of the compressor. All we want to do is just take those high peaks and tame them a bit so it doesn't blast anybody's ears as they're listening to the training.
Culture.
I can see right here, this is actually the loudest part of this section, so let's see how that compresses.
Welcome to our training on Just Culture. Slide 2.
That's about right.
Our executive and leadership teams are committed to supporting the philosophy, policy.
I don't have to do a whole lot with Anthony's voice. It sounds good just by
He's a
itself.
pro. He's got this down.
Exactly. So, and that's pretty much all the processing that I'd have to do to this.
Okay. Now, I know my voiceovers are probably going to need a little bit more work than that, so what can you do to fix me up there?
Okay, let's see here. Here's where you're
Welcome
starting.
to our training on Just Culture. Our executive and leadership teams
Maybe a little bit lower pitched.
Welcome to our training on Just
Pitch it down just a little bit to
Oh,
help
boy.
catch
It got me Darth Vader over
Yeah.
there.
I would probably change, well, let's see what's happening with the compressor on your voice first.
Welcome to our training on Just Culture.
I'm going to
Our
increase
executive
it.
and leadership teams are committed to supporting the philosophy,
You're not quite as loud as Anthony was, so I'm going to increase the compression just a bit.
culture. We seek to be a high reliability organization, or HRO.
Nice job.
Okay, thank you.
Cool.
I think we'll leave it to the professionals, though. Coming up after the break, my visit continues with professional voiceover artist Anthony Gettig as I ask him some more important questions about his career. When Visiting Professionals continues.
You're watching OUTV Channel 41. OUTV aims to provide informative and professional news packages covering what's happening on and around campus. Tune in each and every day to discover new things and learn more with our educational and engaging content. And if you're looking for highly entertaining and enjoyable programming, you're on the right channel. OUTV, Oakland University's premier cable channel.
Welcome back to Visiting Professionals. Today, I'm at the Audio Cafe recording studio visiting with professional voiceover artist Anthony Gettig. Before I sat down with Anthony, I spoke to Tom Rice, the recording studio engineer at Audio Cafe, to understand what Anthony brings to the team. Tom, this really is an awesome place that you got
thank
here.
you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
But can you tell me a little bit about the history of the Audio Cafe?
Yeah, well, actually, I started back in the 1900s, back in 1984, in humble beginnings in my basement, as most recording studios start. And then the Audio Cafe started here in 2002. Did most of the build out myself, which was a challenge. I thought it would take 6 months. It ended up taking 20 months. But it's
That's
done.
a little off.
It's a little off, but it's done, and we're here.
Now, Tom, you work a lot with Anthony. Can you tell me what makes Anthony so special?
Well, I work with a lot of different voiceover talent, and what I like about working with Anthony is if there's like for example, if there's something in the script that doesn't quite sound right, he'll pick up on that, and he'll give me an alternate, which is beautiful because then I can listen to what he did and give the client an alternate, and that makes me look good in the end because here's a choice. I'm not quite sure which way you wanted to go, but we thought we'd give you an alternate. So I love the fact that he does that. Also, the fact that it really requires very little editing on my part. But when I get these voiceovers from Anthony, it's a breeze. It really is. So it's a pleasure to work with him. He's a true professional. What else can I say?
Anthony, thank you so much for having me down here at the Audio Cafe. It's an awesome time. Before we start rocking out here, I just want to get to know a little bit more about you. Are you from around here? Did you grow up here in Michigan?
Yep, I am a native Michigander and born in Texas and moved here a few days later.
A few days?
A few days, yeah. Dad was in the Army and just had gotten out of the Army and got off base, and we moved back to Kalamazoo. So I grew up in Kalamazoo, went to school in Kalamazoo, have lived a couple of other places, but always kind of end up coming back to Kalamazoo. And right now we live just a little bit west of Kalamazoo in the thriving metropolis of Lawrence, which if you know where Lawrence, Michigan is, you are truly a world traveler.
A world traveler to be in Lawrence, Michigan.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like it was perfect timing for you. Now, going to school here in Michigan, did you do college here as well?
You know, I have some college background, but I never finished college because I got married young and we started having children young, and I had to get like right to work. So college, no, but in my high school career, we actually had a fully like FCC licensed radio station that served the community. It was a small little 100-watt station. So we had a radio and television program at my high school, and that really was kind of that's where I think I really said, this is what I want to do for my career. So I ended up, having a bit of a radio career, and also had an IT career. And it's beautiful that, technology and creativity have really converged. What used to cost tens of thousands of dollars, now you can do with, probably for less than $1,000.
And now, starting a family at a younger age, did that have any influence on what you were going to do with your life, whether how it affected the career that you're in now, or if you even were going to try to attempt this in the first place?
Wow, that's a really good question. So when I got out of high school, like I said, I had some college, and we got married, and we started having children. And the thing about children is, you have to feed them and put diapers on them. And radio, a family needs to have some stability. And radio can be a very gypsy job, unfortunately. So if you want to move around a lot and move from market to market, that's great. We decided we didn't want to do that. So I kind of tucked radio to part-time and pursued an IT career for many years. And that was just a wonderful experience. It's funny because, where we are today is really the sum of all of our experiences until today. And so my background in broadcasting, my background in IT, as a result today, when it comes to doing a voiceover for, say, Microsoft or VMware or Cisco, I can rattle off IP addresses and network architecture like I know what I'm talking about, because I do know what I'm talking about. I do think it's important, whatever it is you choose to do, you become an expert at it. And so I have software that I use. It's a professional software called Pro Tools. And there's a reason it's called Pro Tools. It's for professional work. And so I've gotten pretty darn good at it for what I need to do. Can it do a whole lot more? Oh yeah. When you see a true master of Pro Tools recording an album, that's pretty amazing. But for what I do for voiceover, I think I've mastered it pretty well. And I do think that's important. The same thing with, not just the technical side, but also on the delivery side. It takes a certain amount of experience and training to be able to approach a script and say, okay, well, what are they looking for here? Well, they want a conversational read. What does conversational mean? Is it you and I sitting here talking? Or do I have to stage it a little bit like like in a drama or something? Or are they looking for a more comedic read? Or when they say, well, we want it to sound like Morgan Freeman. Well, then go hire Morgan Freeman, right? But the reality is, when they say stuff like that, we want to sound like Morgan Freeman or any other number of big actors. What I think they're really asking for is, we want someone who can tell a story, And as a dad who, tell stories to his kids, that comes pretty easily. But then you have to say, well, how do I do this in a way that makes it such that I can sell a product or convince someone to drive that forklift in a more safe manner?
Was it more hard for you to train your voice and work it up to where it is now, or would you say that it was more difficult for you to learn the technological side of the business?
Probably the performance side, and I'll tell you why. Old radio people have this announcer built into them. So instead of approaching a script and saying, welcome to our company, these are the rules, and if you break them, we'll kill you. Nobody wants to talk like this, right? Because we talk conversationally. And radio people have a hard time losing that announcer. And there are voiceover coaches that will help you just put that announcer to death. Because you have to, because nobody really talks like that, So, that was probably the hardest thing. And that's a hard thing for, I think, just about everyone coming out of broadcasting, is to lose the announcer and to just be a real person. Like you and I are sitting here talking. We could be talking about any number of things. And then I go into, so Austin, this is how you safely drive a forklift, because we want to make sure you get home safely to your family tonight, versus this is how you drive a forklift. Which guy is more relatable and approachable? You know what I mean? The technical side of things has always come easy for me. I'm a nerd, proudly wear that badge. I had a career in IT, so all of my stuff just works.
There you go. What would you say has been the most favorite project that you've gotten to get your hands into?
It was a documentary called Pope Francis in His Own Words, which was really awesome. It was not long after he was elected Pope, and they talk to his sister, his friends, and everybody back home, all these different things, and I got to narrate that, and that was pretty cool because like even the Pope, there were a few spots where he was speaking, and it's like, wow, this is pretty cool. You know, that was pretty cool. But honestly, I get excited about every project. You know, I mean, I sincerely love my job every day. I pinch myself. Wow, I get to do this. It's pretty cool.
Now, you say your family is what's made you a really hard worker at what you do. Now, how does this job really impact your family life? Does it cut away from a lot of the things that you get to do with that, or do you have a little bit more free time yourself?
Oh, that's a great question. We approach it as a family business. So right now, my main studio is at home. So I have a room set aside, I have a vocal booth, my computer and everything set up in there. It's a great little spot for me. So we really look at it as a family thing. So when I have a long script, for instance, my wife will come in or my daughter and spot me on that. So they'll listen while I record and stop me if I make any errors.
Okay.
So that way we kind of quality control on the way in. And so that's very helpful. And then the other kids in the house, because we homeschool as well, they know that if they're quiet, Dad can work. And so, you know, when the mail comes and there's a check, we all go, yay! And because that's why we work, you know, to get paid, right? And then every so often, you know, we'll all pile in the van and head to the store, and I'll say, okay, guys, man, we've had a good month. Everybody gets $20. So we'll go into, you know, some store and we're like, all right, cool, way to go. So we really do treat it as a family thing.
Right. Now, Anthony, where do a lot of your clients come in from?
Wow, all over the world. I'm very, very blessed in that over the years, I actually today, I don't audition very much at all. A lot of what I do is clients that I have relationships with, and they just think of me. And that's really important to be top of mind with those people, because you want them, when they have a project, to think of you. And the thing is, you may have the best sounding voiceover demo in the world. You may have the coolest microphone and the coolest headshot. Why voice actors have headshots, I will never understand. Anyways, I don't care what you look like. What do you sound like, right? But you may have all that stuff, but the bottom line is people hire people they like. And so the big thing, I believe, is to build relationships. And I don't care, that goes for any business you're in, not just voiceover, but you know, if you're in any kind of position where you're selling stuff. And when you own a business, you know, as a solo voiceover talent, I mean, you're a business owner. When you own a business, you're in sales, man. And you're always looking, you know, for that. But thankfully, I've built a lot of great relationships, and I'm very thankful for all of my clients, and they keep me busy. I'm very blessed.
Coming up after the break, my interview concludes with Anthony Gettig as I ask him some more interesting questions about his career. When Visiting Professionals continues. Back to Visiting Professionals. Today, I'm at the Audio Cafe recording studio visiting with voiceover artist Anthony Gettig. I had some more important questions to ask Anthony, and he was happy to answer them. Anthony, can you tell me a little bit about some of the clients that you've gotten to work with?
Yeah, it's been a fun adventure working with people like Microsoft, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Caesars Entertainment, State Farm, Honda, Genesis, Ford Motor Company, a lot of automotive stuff. Banking, done stuff for Chase. Here in Michigan, I was the commercial voice for Mercantile bank for a couple of years. That was pretty fun.
What would you say was your first big break in the industry? What was the first big company that you got to work with?
The first big one was for the hover round. If you, the little elderly person chair that kind of goes around the tight corners in your home, you know. So that was my first like national thing that I got to do. Also, I did a pretty cool online campaign for a protein powder, which blew me away. Just how much money they were spending on this very short voiceover. But yeah, that was for Twin Lab. That was pretty fun. And it was one of those over-the-top announcers, you know, like Twin Lab, you know, like he has this huge voice. You know, they're like, yeah, the more over-the-top, the better. I'm like, okay.
Right, serve it up
so it was
to
pretty
them.
fun, yeah. But between that and the hover round was probably the big one. And then what's really fun is when you start working with the right people, they already have connections. And like I say, that has led to just some great work for a lot of big companies. So, and my IT background actually has helped me get a number of jobs where, you know, I'm going back and forth with someone and they're like, wait a minute, you're certified in that? Yeah, actually I am. Oh, well then here, why don't you read a little bit of this? And then next thing you know, I'm, you know, working on that for 3 months.
Now, would you say that a lot of your first clients helped lead you into a lot of your new clients too, just through building those relationships? Did it help go ahead and build your company?
It's totally about relationships. I think one of the biggest mistakes business people who are just starting a business make is they don't realize that the business, first of all, you have to treat it like a business, not just Hollywood, but it is a business, and business revolves around relationships. It really is, a lot of it is not what you know, but who you know. And I think there is a lot of truth to that. Like I mentioned before, I mean, there's a lot of work out there that you would get only because someone thought of you for it. You know, it's like I love it when someone comes to me and says, "Hey, you are the guy for this job," and you know, we were going to put it on a casting site, but no, we're going to have you do it. And so, I mean, I scooped it, you know, and it was purely because of relationship. And one thing that I've gotten kind of keen on lately is making sure, you know, in this world of online everything. Everything is email and text messages and everything. I've gotten very intentional about face-to-face. So that's caused me to do a little bit of travel. So for instance, recently I took a trip to Boston to see a studio client of mine. And it was great. Took their whole staff out for dinner. And, you know, and I'm not saying this was a cause and effect thing, but the next week, they booked me for a pretty decent sized job. But what that really was building the relationship. So, you know, a job comes along and they think, oh yeah, Anthony, he's a nice guy. So, you know, when you're top of mind, it's easier to be top of mind when you're face to face. So one thing like I mentioned, I've started taking more trips to see clients in person, and which is great because they're business trips, 100%. I'm getting to do a little bit of travel, which is fun.
Yeah.
And so I've started planning some more trips for the coming year to go and see some of my key clients. And the great thing is, especially when they're in Michigan, I love coming over here to the Detroit area to see Tom, the Audio Cafe, and there's other companies here that I do work for. And it's great to pop in and just say hi, you know, with no agenda, just, hey, how you doing, you know? Because people want to know, even clients want to know that you give a rip about them. You know, it really is about the relationships. I can't stress that enough.
Yeah. You got to be more than just a voice. You got to be the person behind that voice that people want to hire too.
Exactly. And it's important to do things like, you know, things like birthdays, or if you get to know about them, like maybe their favorite music or something. It's like, hey, yeah, have you heard the new album from so-and-so? I mean, it's like, make small talk, you know?
Yeah.
And someone told me a long time ago, they said, if you're going to be in business, your clients need to be your friends. And I thought, wow, that sounds kind of self-serving, but over time, it really has, it rings true for me. And I love it when a client crosses over from that customer relationship to being a friend. And I'm very, very thankful. I have many clients that have become dear friends, and we truly care about each other. Again, it's that relationship thing, you know, what's going on, and it's not just about what can I do for you, what project can I voice for you, but what's going on in your life. And I just, you know, it's just nice to be a part of each other's lives. And then for instance, when I have a project that's just out of my league, or I hear about something that's not my expertise, I know who to refer as well. And I have a number of clients that I have sent work to. Same thing with colleagues. I mean, the same thing goes for that. I mean, I'm kind of a one-trick pony with my voice. I mean, I can try to pitch it up, or I can try to pitch it down, but it still sounds like me, right? So, but I have colleagues who can do all kinds of voices. I have colleagues that are bilingual, that can speak Spanish and French and German. Well, I can't do those things. So it's a great opportunity for me, with my relationship, to pass that work on to them. And then when they have a project that comes up that I'm good for, they'll think of me.
Yep, what goes around comes around.
It really is about relationships. I mean, yeah, you got to be good at business. There's, of course, those things. But part of being good at business is about being good at relationships.
Well, it sounds and looks like you're doing a great job of it.
Well, that's fun.
Right, exactly. Yeah, more friends, you know, it's better too. And it's making you money too, so it's always great. Well, another big question that I have for you is, what advice would you give to a student that might be in the position to going into a career path like this?
I would say pay attention to business classes. Really pay attention to business, accounting, and marketing. Pay attention in those things, because if you want to become a solo voice talent, and most of us are, we're all, you know, solopreneurs, as the word goes, you are the marketing department. You are accounting. You are collections. All of that. Pay attention in those things, and if possible, start hanging out with people that are doing what it is you want to do. Like, I love what you're doing with this program. It's like, let's go find media professionals and hang out with them, see what they're doing. And I mean, if you want to be a great guitar player, go hang around great guitar players. You know, if you want to be a great golfer, hang around lawyers. I mean, right? I mean, just find someone who's doing what you want to do at the level you want to be doing it, and, you know, strike up here's that word again, relationship. You know, so.
No. Anthony, is this the best job in the world?
Oh, without a doubt. This is the very best job in the world. My boss, but I love my job. I mean, seriously, I wake up each day, and I really approach each day with an attitude of gratitude. And that's the other thing, I think, when you're self-employed, is to keep that attitude of gratitude. Be thankful for every job that comes in, no matter how big, no matter how small. Every client is your number one client. And I really do love my job.
Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Visiting Professionals. I'd like to give a special thanks to Anthony Gettig and Tom Rice down here at the Audio Cafe recording studio. Until next time, I'm your host, Austin Slibaugh, signing off.